Hi, in this video, we're going to talk about top 10 mistakes that every beginner photographers do, and they need to avoid them. Let's dive in. The first one is ignoring composition. One of the first mistakes that every beginner photographers or even pro photographers do is to ignoring composition. Do you remember rule of thirds, leading lines, and other composition techniques? If not, you can watch my video about composition again. It has very big difference when you composite your photos. It can shows your level of photography. Now look at these photos. You can see how I composite them. For example, in this one, you can see I use rule of thirds, and in this one, I used leading lines composition. The second one is poor exposure control. Proper exposure is crucial for a well-balanced photo. You need to learn how to adjust your exposure with adjusting shutter speed, aperture, and ISO. Avoid overexposing or underexposing your photos. Recently, it happened to one of my friends that the camera person didn't adjust the exposure and all the videos are overexposed and he couldn't use it. Here you can see when I'm overexposed and now I'm underexposed. See? It's not good at all. The third one is neglecting white balance. White balance determines your temperature of your photo. Neglecting white balance can result in inaccurate colors and overall photos with lack of harmony. I usually use auto balance because I trust my camera, and I adjust the white balance in post-production in Photoshop because it depends on the mood of my edit. And now you can see how does it work. For example, now it's warm and now it's cold. The fourth one is not focusing. Getting a sharp and well-focused photo is essential. You need to be sure if your photos are focused. As you saw in my videos, in my shooting, I always check my focus by zooming it on my subject. The fifth one is location and time. Choosing bad time and bad location for your shooting. It's very important to choose your location properly. You need to always think of background of your subject because the background is telling the story of your photo. If it is not properly chosen, your photos doesn't have any sense. And for the lighting, for example, in the midday, it's awful. It's better to shoot in sunset or sunrise. The best times for shooting is a little bit after sunrise and before sunset. You can see a huge difference in your photos when you shoot in that time. I usually skip the sunrise because I will not wake up at that time. Usually I shoot at sunset. Sixth one is wrong shutter speed and aperture. For example, a moving subject needs to be shot with a faster shutter speed to freeze the movement if you don't need to have motion blur. Or using a close aperture for portrait photography. I see it so much. It's not focused on your subject. Everywhere is sharp and your subject is vanished in the photo. So it's better to use wider aperture and use a proper shutter speed for your photos. The seventh one is over editing and under editing. Finding the right balance for post-production is crucial. You need to enhance your photos without making them unnatural, and by practice you can find your style. The eighth one is poor lens choice. Selecting the appropriate lens can make a big difference in your photography. For example, again, when I see some photographers using kit lens for portrait, you can see it doesn't have any difference with phones because the lens is not proper for portrait. Kit lens is just for, I don't know, hobby, just to exercise and practice. Throw out the kit lenses, don't buy them at all. And I can say, if you have the best camera and you don't use the proper lens, you will shoot amateur photos. The ninth one is to not explore different perspectives. Sometimes when you try some new angles in your shooting, you will say, wow, it's much more better than before. Try new angles, go low, go high, and go close to your subject. Change your position, change your perspectives to get better photos. And the last one is the thing that I always say in my videos: shooting, editing, and repeating. It's very important. You need to practice and gain experience and learn from your mistakes. That's it. It was the top 10 mistakes that every beginner photographers do. And after this video, I hope you will avoid them. Thanks for watching until end. And as always, to support me, please subscribe to the channel, comment in comment section. And the most important things is to not shooting, editing, and repeating. See you in next videos.